What's up, animatronic nerds? Welcome to the Retrofitted Reality podcast. I'm Anthony.
I'm Eevee.
And today we have a real treat for you. This is actually something that people have been wanting from me specifically for a long time, which is my creative engineering tour, which has been pretty much lost to time since at least 2011. I've been looking for these files for a long time. They were recorded on an old camcorder that we got in the 90s, and they were on physical tapes, and it was on a DVD at one point, and then it got transferred back onto a computer, and it was lost. And my dad's computer, old computer, he finally found it, and some other things. And so we finally found this, and so I'm really excited about that. So we're gonna react to it, the two of us, and kind of give our takes and our opinions on it.
As soon as I started seeing the pictures that you sent me, I was like, I need to see this. And we can see several parts throughout this where you can see when the picture was taken, like the flash, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what picture that is. So we'll try to include some of those throughout the recording as well. And I believe you have at least one of the souvenirs that he gave you.
At that time, this was, Aaron made a whole business out of giving tours, but at that time he really wasn't. I remember I had gotten into animatronics because first I was actually probably in like 2001. I had gotten one of those Jemmy dancing hamsters. I used to go to KB Toys, which is a toy store that does not exist anymore, and I used to go in and get the Jemmy animated figures of like Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra or whatever they were, and I would get those, and that was shaped my music taste as a kid. I was the weird kid who would go to the playground. People still come up to me now and say, "Were you the kid who used to be on the swing singing Dean Martin songs?" And I was like, "Yep," because no one did that, in the time. I was the weird kid in the neighborhood. I used to have a bike and a cart on the back of it, like a wagon, and I would ride with my singing Big Mouth Billy Bass, and I think it was the Lobster, and I would hit play like a radio, and then it would stop 30 seconds later. I'd stop the bike, get off, hit play, and then ride again. And that was just, I was so obsessed with anything that moved. I remember going to a birthday party for Chuck E. Cheese and being like, oh my gosh, like I actually went online and just started searching like animated figures, animated bears, whatever, trying to find those, and I found Billy Bob on YouTube, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I went to all this research and everything, and I went down a rabbit hole, and I learned everything I could going on showbizpizza.com and everything, and connecting with people, getting on the old Showbiz Pizza forums, and trying to learn as much as I could. This is probably 2002, 2005, around this time period, and by 2006 it had become a real obsession, and my dad took me to Fun Zone, which was a place in Staten Island that had a Rock-afire, and they didn't work great, but it was still my first time ever seeing a Rock-afire in person. My parents were basically like, how can we top this? So for me, at one time we had a trip to Disney planned in January of 2009, and I knew creative engineering was there, and I said, Mom, can you just call and ask if he'll give us, a tour, if we can come see it? And she was like, I'll give it a shot, but like, he might not answer, he might not be open anymore, there might not be, it might be a receptionist and they'll give me the runaround or whatever. And then she called. I remember she went to the other room, and I was just waiting with bated breath, to see what would actually happen. And I remember she came back, and she was like, he answered. He sounded like Billy Bob. She was like ecstatic, and she was like, he picked up the phone. It was Aaron. I was like, oh my god, it's he. Aaron answered the phone. Aaron, and she was like, yeah, and like he said we can do it, and like we booked the tour, and I think we paid like $300 or whatever, and we on our off day from our Disney trip. In Orlando, we met Aaron at Creative Engineering, the Jefferson Building, and we did a tour. And it was one of the most special memories. And then actually years later, and I'll put a photo of this in too, we met up with Aaron again at IHOP, him and his assistant, and we had breakfast with him, talked about, him coming to visit us, and it was really special. It was a great time to be a fan. It was something that I remember going to conventions years later and talking about it before, like, you went to breakfast with Aaron Fechter? And I was like, yeah.
That is a flex.
At a certain point, it became something on his website to where you could just go to his website and select tour, select the date and book it, but this wasn't the case then. This was a much more personal kind of, you could tell he was trying to make the experience special because it wasn't something he did often. And over time, he kind of became, you watch a bunch of those and you've heard the same stories. It was like a show for him, and rightfully so. But this is the time where he kind of didn't have a plan. And I think that shows in it, and it's really cool.
The unique take on the creative engineering tour that you've seen.
Yeah, and there's some things in there that, like, just, I think I would almost go on a limb and say it's basically lost media, because there's a lot of things in here that just, there's not a lot of footage of, if any at all, and there's a lot of things that, like, you might not have seen that were shipped out or changed or things from these later tours, and it's kind of an unexplored period in creative engineering history, and in the fandom's history. And so I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So, I mean, if you've seen a creative engineering tour before, that's awesome. I think that there's some things in here that I guarantee you have never seen before.
You haven't seen this creative engineering tour, so enjoy.
Without further ado, here we go. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
So that's my mom. That's my little sister Vanessa.
You're so tiny.
Got a lot of animatronics.
I know.
Well, so we have a tough act to follow here.
No, you don't.
But I'll tell you what, I think you're going to have some fun with this because you don't get to see their mess over there. You know, everything's all cleaned up, right?
Good stuff.
Well, over here,
You're gonna see some
30
mess.
years of mess. Okay, because I haven't had time to clean up for 30 years. In fact, in that case, in that sense, I'm not really a very good role model. My mom used to tell me, clean up your room, clean up your room. I never did get it cleaned up. I finally moved out of the house somewhere around 1970. My room still wasn't cleaned up. It still isn't cleaned up. If you went back home, you'd probably still see my mess there.
Did you grow up here?
Grew up in Orlando. And so what's funny is that, see, there's no way for me to clean this up now because I'm so busy doing everything that I don't have time to clean up anymore. In fact, there's some messes that we'll go through that were made by lots of people.
I was just gonna say me when I make excuses for not cleaning my room.
Hundreds of employees that came in messes.
I'm just so busy.
So, you know, I'm certainly not going to clean up their mess. They're going to have to come back and clean up their mess, but they don't work here anymore. So it's going to be hard to get them to come back.
Yeah.
And bring back the stuff they took too, by the way.
Why did you take this one out?
Well, no, this was going to
there.
And
now, I normally don't take the characters out of the crates. That's a good question before I ship them. But this customer wanted me to go through every little piece of this show to make sure it was still in perfect condition. And before I sent it,
It's so weird because this show never got shipped to that place. You know.
Now I'm gonna let you look at this for just a minute. I'm gonna run back and check and see if my emergency conference
for
call
years
is proceeding
and then went to
properly,
Six Flags.
and then I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. Turn
It
around.
never got to Jordan. Got the
Miss, don't
50-year-old dad fit on.
Turn around.
that's the behind the scenes of that picture. I'll
Yeah.
put it on the screen. You looking up at Beach Bears,
who
that
these guys
picture.
are, and I'll catch you on.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Woody Bird.
Look at his hands. When does he use his hands?
Where does Looney?
Letters from Mooney.
Where does Looney live, Anthony?
With Billy Bob.
Wait, when does he use his hands? I've never seen his hands. No,
What
I don't
is
want to go
for
back
Mooney?
there.
See how he has his paper here?
Oh yeah, and it looks like a
People-
letter.
People send.
I'm dying.
People send. It's supposed to be like people send him fan mail, and he reads it, and if they have questions, he answers them.
Who's the striped
Yeah.
bear over here?
Right.
Striped pants.
Well, that's Billy Bob. The star of the showbiz.
Oh, sorry.
You're like, what the fuck did you just say?
Feels fast. That's on Bubba Gorilla.
Respect my goat.
Fats has a vest like that, and
Yeah, no, there's more difference than that, Anthony.
remember I showed you on that?
There's a couple other differences.
Found his chest. Wait, it was that video at a convention or something. Are we allowed to go?
IAAPA.
Yep, as long as you're careful. Yep.
Careful.
Anthony, I wonder if Aaron went to Disney World.
I'm wondering.
Is this where he was out of the room for a little bit?
Yeah, he was on the conference call, yeah.
They used to make the maps.
Oh,
Yeah. See him?
and some of those are his.
My mom was a
It's the
saint.
mold.
Love you, Mom.
Shout out.
He's soft.
Take your picture from
Yeah,
the
those are the
message.
plugs.
Give it to Billy Bob first.
Wait,
And
does he have the mold here? Hey, look, yeah, behind him.
Molds.
Go look.
Behind the
Or-
I'll point out things that I noticed along the way as well, because there are some cool things. Like that's the Paul McCartney head that was later used to Private Paul for the Army.
Constantly juggling.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. This place is incredible.
Seeing him walk in the room
Okay, well, I'll
was
tell you what we're going to do. We're going to start
I know.
by
a little scary.
show.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a lot like the Rock-afire except for Fats, and we'll see Fats in a little while.
Beach Bear's hair, Anthony just told us.
Oh, is Beach Bear's hair different? In what way?
That wig, that blonde hair on the top is gone now?
Well, that's how I saw it on the line.
Okay.
What did you see?
They took that hair off.
Well, you know,
I'm so nervous.
there was a time. I mean, there was a time when we took the hair off and then we put it back on. So, you know, we've gone through changes.
Oh.
And it, you know, when we first started and we we started with the hair, and then we went through some number of years, and we thought, you know,
I like that.
the hair is not doing it for us. And then a couple years later, we thought, the hair is doing it for us. We put
I
it
brought
back.
it right back.
Yeah. So sometimes people get caught, without they didn't get the memo.
To put it back on.
Yeah.
He said, "Catch up,
Each time you
kid."
don't do something that your mom tells you to do, just tell her, I didn't get the memo.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's such bad
You know
advice.
he's going to say that.
So we're going to go this way, and I'm going to show you now more than 30. It's like 32 years now. And creative engineering is older than that because I had some other buildings, littler buildings, before I got this one. And when we moved into this building, there was nothing here. There were no walls. There was, of course, no stuff. And so we just started piling stuff in. What did you find?
Is it Billy Bob? His head?
Yes, that's a Billy Bob head.
See it in there, Anthony?
There's two of them.
Two of them.
That's right. There's another one. And on these shelves here, these shelves, and there's another one up there. These are heads that would go with a walking around costume.
Oh, do you sell those?
Well, I could. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I sure could.
How much?
Go off, mom.
Bedroom.
Well, probably.
Maybe you
probably
can
a head
email me
like
about
this.
it.
Yeah, I can email you about it.
Okay.
Now this is
Iconic.
Get one.
because this one actually
I thought I
has.
saw something.
Oh no, this one actually has a motor in it to supposedly keep the wearer cool.
Wow.
But and you can see that it's missing its fur. But there you go, mom's.
That's a giant.
Mom looks like Billy Bob now.
You look just like. Well, okay.
It's perfect.
Bold Billy Bob is haunting me.
Fiberglass-
He's gonna
Yeah,
haunt my
it's
dreams.
terrifying.
And fiberglass face
And those are the
and a
molds?
rubber nose. Those are actually
It's
yeah, but
rubber.
don't squeeze it. You
Okay.
can touch it, but don't squeeze it because it might not come back.
Or a good crack, really.
Yeah.
Then we'd have to buy it. Anthony
Yeah,
says. Danny
Yeah,
had to
if you
make
touch it, you bought it. All right, what are you touching? All right, it's yours. I'll just keep an invoice while we're walking along
Yeah.
here. I never thought of that. That might be a good way to get rid of some of this stuff.
So you mentioned before there was a good 100 people that worked.
The wheels are turning. He's like, "Oh wait, actually."
Yes. In the boom days, actually, at my peak, we had 325 employees.
Wow.
And in this particular building, I had as many as 60 or 70 employees.
You had, is it, where was the other building?
We had a much larger building, not too far, just a couple of miles from here.
Okay.
And that's where we did most of the manufacturing of the Rock-afire. Up until we got the contract with Showbiz, we were making bear shows and, country bear shows. Let's see, we had rabbits and dogs and foxes, just about everything you can imagine. But we got it all together and decided to just produce the Rock-afire explosion by the time Showbiz came along. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go grab a flashlight, too, because there's some things that you're going to want to see.
So there's a lot of stuff like that where it's just like little,
an ordinary,
I love
everyday
seeing
pile
all the
of
things
garbage.
he's left.
But it's not. See, this is the top that came off of my old truck. I still got
Oh,
the truck.
very nice.
Yeah, and it just got pushed off to the side. And then there's some boxes that some
Everybody
stuff
should have
came
a
in.
building like this.
Yeah, I know. All your stuff.
Yeah.
I've never thrown away anything. Everything I've ever had
Wow.
is either in this building
Yep.
or at home.
I believe that.
Yeah,
And what
I
is
can
that?
see.
That is there is a Looney Bird mask. That's right.
Yep.
In fact, it's lost.
And what are
I
those
couldn't have
ears?
told
Those
you
are
that was
Mitzi's
back
ears,
there.
I bet.
Yep, those are
Yeah.
Mitzi ears.
Now you made those from scratch and with the molds and everything.
Wow, look at
Pardon me?
that.
You made those from scratch, all
Yes.
molds.
Yes, and you're going to see that. You're going to see those molds.
Oh,
and these are
rubber?
termite wings that probably came
that's
from.
hysterical.
That's not part of the intended
It's not
effect.
supposed to
But we know
Yeah.
termites all too well.
Yeah. Have you ever seen termite wings before? Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen the wings, but we've seen
Seen
those.
damage.
those
It's so good.
We've seen the damage.
Those
You've seen the
fit.
Can you pause it?
Oh yeah, well you'll see some of those. Those are very slippery, by the way.
What'd you say?
He's really good with kids, you know. I mean, that's
Yeah,
one of the things
I
I'm
agree.
noticing right off the bat. Is it's very impressive to see how well he's able to, not talk down while at the same time. It's like the way I like to talk to my students when I'm teaching.
He encourages curiosity and yeah, he's good with kids, especially in this
I'll
video.
keep pausing when we have things we want to add.
Yeah,
But yeah,
just if it's
Because they're
extensive.
made with
whatever it is,
So we can hear each other.
they'll definitely trip you up. So I was going to tell you a little bit about this pile. Behind this pile is some stuff that's left over from a show that we never did ship. So I don't know what to do with it. But see all the gears and the motors and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, that all went with what's called the new Rock-afire explosion that was produced in the 90s. And you're going to see one of those too today. But so these are just part of the new Rock-afire explosion that never got shipped.
And I took a picture of it because we're so excited.
Yeah, you never know.
Anthony saw that.
There's nothing wrong with it, except that you just have to hook it up and get things out of the way and make sure it all works.
Anthony
But-
plans on opening a restaurant or something like this, so maybe he'll be the one to
Ah.
open it up and set it up for you.
There you go. You let me know as soon as you want that. And you know what? Let's see. How long you think it'll be before you open your restaurant?
10, 12 years.
That's nothing. This thing will easily be here in another 10 or 12 years.
Where's your restaurant?
1985. So it's
In this
very
economy,
likely that it'll be here in another 10 or 12 years. Just come on back. We'll see. It's funny.
I do
how old
have
are
a
you now,
side
Anthony?
note on that actually.
8. I was going to tell you, there.
At one point, we went to this place that used to be in New York. I think it was called Mars 2112, and we went there at Cheesevention, and it was this type of like Mars themed restaurant. And you took this elevator that was like a space shuttle up to the restaurant, and you'd be in Mars, and there was alien mascot costumes
cool.
everywhere, and everything was like red rock, and it was like immersive and themed, and all the food and drink were themed to like space things. Think of like Galaxy's Edge, but like in New York City in Times Square or something like that. We were there for Cheesevention just seeing it because it was like a themed entertainment thing, And at one point, someone said, "Oh, Aaron Fechter has a show called The Moonrockers. You guys should buy it because it would be really cool to fit. It would fit perfectly here." And I was like, "No, it's mine. It's mine. You can't buy it before." Like, I didn't say that out loud, but I was like internally like
You're
it ruined my
panicking.
day. Yeah, it like ruined my day. I had to
Like
be-
my future. No.
Yeah, I was like, no, and I just kept checking, and then that place closed.
My
and,
destiny.
It's funny that nowadays, the Moonrockers are still sitting in storage. It's also interesting too, like the quote of I don't know if he said it yet, but he said $12,000 was the price he gave for me. You couldn't even get a single Rock-afire character for that price these days. It just kind of shows how much the times have changed,
Inflation.
Yep, inflation and demand. But
For
yeah,
kids who've been riding me since they were 7.
Whoa, did Mitch just move there?
Yes, because I just you're good.
Program.
I just turned on the air pressure because in a little while we're going to actually run a show, and so now when I turn on the air pressure, everything starts airing up. So we're not going to actually play that show. We're going to play a different show, but those are
it's
connected
cool.
to
And
the
you
air.
had
so
the
that's
air
what they
running
do.
through the entire building to everything.
There's the baby
So it's-
choo-choo and the aliens too.
Yeah. See, what we did is we created this show off of a center stage Rock-afire explosion.
Okay.
So that was where Choo Choo would have been, but he was created as a little alien character. He's cute like Choo Choo. And of course, those were Fats and Duke and Beach Bear and Mitzi
Here's
before they
something.
became these alien creatures.
Yeah.
And look, there's even the spider.
Look at that. It looks like Mike,
Yeah.
Disney Mike guy.
Yeah, I know. They copied us.
They did.
That's our flying eyeball.
Yeah. And we were talking about your car idea from a long time ago.
Oh,
And how everyone's copying that now. Too.
I know. We're going to see that. That's downstairs.
You're kidding.
No, without their costumes and masks. See, what we did.
Your mom is so excited. I love it.
Around here.
I know. Well, there's the new
We
Rock-afire.
thought we were going to run out of Rock-afire explosions. Okay, we had a whole bunch of them, and we were putting them out at a kind
I
of
can
a
guess
fast
who
rate.
that is.
And yeah, so this was Beach Bear, and you'll see that.
And who was in there?
That was Looney Bird.
I knew it.
Oh,
You knew
I've
it?
never seen that.
And we had Billy Bob and Fats and
Knew
Mitzi on the center stage.
Why is it Mitzi?
See your ears?
Knew it.
Knew it.
You're so cute.
See if you can tell which one was Fats and
Oh,
which one
this
was
is the
Billy
one
Bob.
that's fun. We've seen this one before, right?
Yeah.
Anthony? That's gotta be Billy Bob. 'Cause
There you
he's
go.
sweet.
There you go. You
And which one is
sorted it
this?
out. That would be Fats.
Oh, okay. He's a different color again.
What's the first two? There's
Nope.
like light brown
Those-
and dark brown.
What is that on his shoulder?
Yeah, what is on his shoulder?
Where did we see this? We've seen this one.
I'm not sure what that is on his shoulder now that you mentioned it.
Is that air and hydraulic?
No, just air. Yeah, even the stage, which rotates, is an air motor.
Yeah, what
I haven't
what the
stood
fuck is on his
up
shoulder?
that. This is
Okay, just
cover.
padding. Okay.
Yeah. So the fact that it looks kind of like Mitzi or something has nothing to do with it. But I guess they just decided to use that.
Anthony, see all the pulleys
He's
so you
like,
can pull the curtain?
Say, I don't know.
Yeah, see, these are Austrian style curtains, so that when the pulleys come up, those those
the
are
weights.
weights, and that holds the curtain down. And then when they get pulled up through an air cylinder, they go up.
So sometimes this video will pause, and that's because it was a DVD that had scratches over the years.
Valve's
and
switch.
really could
Okay.
document it.
I thought you had something to say.
Just
No.
gotta know how to set this up so it doesn't die ours.
Yeah, was prototype work, and so all these
So this is
machines,
all-
drilling machines, and the saws, and
The
band
lathes
saws,
and all the different
lathes,
things that they use
the,
for the new Rock-afire
mills and
manufacturing
all that.
specifically.
These were used to make prototype pieces, so that we could, see if they worked good. And then if they did, then we sent it over to production, and they were built in production. Now this game right here that's attracting your attention, as you can see, it's kind
Here we go.
of sacrilegious that we'd actually use something like this for a table. We
Bin
put so much
Laden
work into
Basher.
something. And then when I'm over here, you didn't see that.
Is that whack-a-mole?
It's
Sort of. It's Bin Laden.
it's the Bin Laden Basher.
That's great.
I lay my stuff here while I'm using my drill press just because I'm so disorganized. I don't even have a table here. But anyway, yeah, this is the Bin Laden Basher. And what I did is I built this prototype in 1981. 2001.
I was gonna say, boy, you were really.
Yeah, I was gonna. You were ahead of
It
the
was
time.
2001, but it was
You knew.
definitely- It was 3
Aaron
months
did
after the 9/11.
9/11.
Okay.
I was
Aaron-
trying to come up with a humorous way to
He knew 20 years earlier.
and so we put Bin Laden in all of these little holes.
So I
And,
could create a
of
game
course,
off
there's
this
also-
event that will happen.
A Saddam Hussein in here.
Oh,
Let's
mixed
see
in.
where he is. There he is. There's Saddam
I don't know if
himself.
we could put this
And
on
look, you look at him, he's got crossed eyes, he's got his tongue hanging out.
Oh, very
Because if you hit him, we hit him on his face. After a while, that's what's going to happen. And, what's really ironic is that it wasn't, I guess, too long after that they found him in a hole. And it looked just
In a
about
hole,
like that.
Exactly. That's funny.
So it was kind of,
Yeah.
sort of.
Saddam Hussein's
prophetic.
hiding spot.
Exactly.
You know what prophetic means? I don't know why I'm using words like that. But we also put Hitler in here just for good measure, just to show the company that the.
What?
Now,
Wait.
I gotta pause it here because I have two things that I want to say about this.
We also put Hitler in here. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
just casually, just being like, it gets crazier. I think in a second he goes like, "Do you know like what a terrorist is or something?" He asked me something about like a terrorist. I had a student once who I used to teach at a guitar store. I had this student, and we'll call her Jessica. That's not her name, but she came in one day, and we had this microphone that was hooked up to the whole like school, basically, that we went to music school. And so one day I was in the other room. I just let her in there, and I heard, "We love Saddam Hussein," come over the speaker, and I ran into the room, and I was like, "Jessica, what did you say?" And she was like, "We love Saddam Hussein," and she had drawn the like TikTok meme of like Saddam Hussein's hiding spot
Yeah.
on the board, and I was like, "Do you know who that is?" And she was like, "No," and I was just like, "Shit." And my boss
Come on.
called me down and was like, "Did I just hear what I think I heard?" And I was like, "Yeah, she doesn't know who it is." And he was like, "Well, take care of that." And I was like, "Don't say that." And she was like, "Why?" Like, and I was like, "Google him. Google him on your own time." She was older, and I was like, "Google him on your own time." It was one of the most like awkward moments ever. But my wife and I still sometimes quote, "We love Saddam Hussein." It was like, no,
Saddam
no, you
Hussein.
don't.
This is not a turn that I expected this tour to
No.
take.
No,
He's
and
still
it's-
good with children, but it is crazy for him to just be like, here's my game where we beat the shit out of terrorists.
Yeah,
Do you know what a terrorist is?
Yeah, it's just like
8-year-old?
absolutely crazy. Look at the art. It's just Bin Laden Basher for freedom. It's like what the fuck?
AI couldn't recreate this.
No.
wow.
Just, anyways, I can't even.
I thought, okay, these are going to fly off the shelves. We're going to finally get back into big production with something. Everybody's going to want this game, especially the military rec rooms and so forth. But I had a problem. Everybody wanted it for nothing. I said, oh, well.
Donate it to the troops or something.
Well, no, when I say for nothing, I mean they wanted it so cheap
Okay.
that I couldn't afford to make it.
Okay.
And then there were other people that criticized the game 3 months after 9/11 attack.
I wonder
criticized
why.
it, saying, we'd buy that game from you. No, they
Honestly, it's kind of crazy that he launched this 3 months after
3 months
9/11.
is
Like,
crazy.
that's
He saw 9/11 on the news and he was like, I have an idea.
I know what I could. Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today. It's like, dude,
The development 3 months. He launched it at 3 months after.
Yeah, apparently, and that's why people were said it was insensitive because it was.
That's a little too soon.
He must have been like, I gotta change the world. I can.
No, I didn't get any of that.
This is gonna be.
Although
This
we
is
were
it.
just on the border of that because nobody had begun joking around, making jokes about Osama yet.
Okay.
And we were one of the first people. It took America a while to start poking fun at Osama bin Laden. You know, the first ones to poke fun on were people like David Letterman and Jay Leno.
Who's ahead of the
problem I had
times?
is people were looking at this and saying, well, maybe this game won't be of any further value and no one will enjoy this game once we find Osama bin Laden, and we're going to find him.
Okay.
And here we are, what is it, 8 years later?
Yep.
Or something? And they still haven't found the freedom.
Yep.
So anyway,
Well,
so I still only have one game. I thought for a while about donating it to Bush himself. You know, maybe he'd have it in his office or something. But, you know, I was too busy to...
I don't think he.
Right.
So we still have it.
He wants to be
Now the
reminded of
question
that.
is, when you come back here to get your moon rockers, will we have found Osama bin Laden by then?
Oh yes, I hope so.
That's a question. Nobody
He's a
can answer.
terrorist.
You're just like, I don't know what's
Do you know
happening.
who that is? Osama bin Laden. He's the worst of all the worst terrorists. You know, so this was kind of a political statement as well as a joke.
I didn't know
But now you
political
did know
meant.
that it bears a similarity to the whack-a-mole. And I don't know if you knew this, but I invented the whack-a-mole in
You
1976.
did.
Are you kidding
So
me?
funny.
Uh-huh.
We'll have to
You
buy
are-
that game now. You know they have the
Now
game
you're
you
really
can buy.
famous.
You know you can buy it at Target. Game.
He's like,
I've
thanks.
seen that.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart because I didn't make any money on that.
Oh, you're.
I built the prototype, the first one, and the guy I built it for one customer. He took it and he sold it to Bob's Space Racers, who later mass manufactured it. And just copied it and sold it. And I never got a chance to. I was only 20-something, 22
Wow.
or 3,
Wow.
and I didn't know any
Wow.
better. You know, as far as protecting it goes.
Right, right.
So I lost the whack-a-mole game. If I hadn't lost that, but guess what? If I
I'd be
wouldn't be
retired.
giving you this tour right now. That's right.
What is this?
Smile through the
Is
pain.
that like a scan?
Yeah, I
Is
think.
it part of a character? Or
Okay, so here's the machine shop. Now, machine shops have lots of cool stuff too. Come on in here and I'll show you.
What a transition from Bin Laden to machine shop.
Okay.
Moving on.
When you're
Whoa.
working on machines, you can make anything you want
Whoa.
with milling machines and lathes. Look, those two machines will just about allow you to make anything. And these tools are the things that go into milling machines.
Beach Bear in the
These are,
background. Just like, for what
carbide,
purpose
sharp
is he doing there
tools
without a
that go right
face
inside
in the
this
machine
little
shop?
one. There's a big one.
Like, I just
And
can't
these
think of
darn
like
things
why
cost
he's there.
Hundreds of dollars a piece because they're so hard and so strong. And that's one of the things I did get that nobody put in their pocket and took off with when we started closing down. So I still have some great tools. How about that drill bit, huh? Boy, I'll tell you, when I was a kid and I was buying drill bits, I would have given my left arm for a tool bit like this. I don't know what I would have drilled with it, but anyway, cool drill bit.
Go off,
Anthony,
King.
do you understand how that,
Cool
that can
drill.
also do holes, but also go across metal too? Make
Both my
steps?
parents were mechanical engineers, so
different
this is like
shapes.
right up their alley.
Yeah, it's almost like it would
But
take.
when I was looking through the photos, I found multiple photos of just the
you know,
pulleys that my
a
dad
sort of
took
a
for
display
reference.
Or sitting all on its own just to show you how these mowing machines work. And really what I should do is I should clean up after I'm finished. But for some reason or other, I only get around to cleaning up when I can no longer find my vise. Okay, then I clean up.
Mood.
I'm not quite ready.
Me too.
But I am still using
Me.
blisters approach. And I'm using this to make parts for the animatronics experimenters kit. And I'll show you that in just a little while.
I did buy one of those.
These are molds. These are vacuum form molds that were used to make the new Rock-afire parts. For example, this is a bat's jaw,
Oh, neat.
maybe the plastic piece that goes inside that hooks to the mouth lever that moves the mouth up and down. So this is a mold, and you see all the little holes in it?
Yeah.
The reason those holes are there, and this is just a hard piece of, it's plastic, and there's lots of little holes there. And what we do is we lay that down on a bed, on like a flat piece of wood, a bed. And inside the bed is a vacuum pump. So it sucks all the air out. So we have a hot piece of plastic on top. We pull it down. It's sort of soft because it's so hot. And we pull it down on top of this, and then we turn on the vacuum pump, and these holes, the vacuum comes through and just sucks it all around this, and it creates a piece of plastic exactly the shape. We even homemade our own vacuum press. I'll show you that in just a second. So all of these are vacuum molds. There's a vacuum mold for a piece of lightning that goes in the show. It's sort of just a prop. And
It's cool how
It's cool to see.
that.
Yeah.
So come on over if you want to do work like this. You don't have to have a great big lathe. You can have a little one like this. You can even put this in your bedroom.
Anthony,
Don't say that.
you know how they make bats, honey? If you put a piece of wood like that, you put a little blade like that, and it turns, and they make bats that way.
Yeah. In fact, here's a lathe here. Okay. I'll tell you what. Come over here and stand right here. I'm going to turn this on for you and let you see how this thing spins. Have you ever seen a lathe spin before?
Probably not a smart thing to do,
Okay, well, this is a
liability-wise,
lathe.
honestly.
And
No.
see, this piece goes in and out, and what you're driving in and out is a cutter. It's a tool. It's called a tool bit, but it's actually a cutter. And as you drive it in like this, it cuts into a piece of metal or wood or plastic, and put it on like that. And so your piece of plastic is held inside of that chuck, and then you can move your cutter this way and that way and this way, and basically you can cut a piece of plastic and you can create a shape like that out of whatever you want. Like for example, here's another piece, and you can stick a hole in it. And so basically you can start making pieces. You want that? It's your first souvenir. As we go around here, I'll find
Can you
some.
say thank you?
You're welcome. So, and you can see a couple of characters.
I
sort
wish I
just
had a
sitting
lot of
here.
those things.
Who's
I
this?
kept some stuff, but
That
some things
is,
just
who can tell me who that is?
I know who that is. Ralph.
What'd you say?
That's right. Without the
I
costume.
kept a lot of things, with some things I just
You were
didn't
his
have
voice. I
anymore.
didn't realize that. Most of them I can pick out which ones
Most
you
part's
are,
good.
but I didn't realize you were Ralph.
That's right. I do Rolf. And originally when I started doing Rolf, he was a an old time radio disc jockey voice, which was, hey, you were gonna have stacks of wax and platters that matter, and we're gonna be turning those records from the past. Okay, and so
I love
a
it.
little bit, and so now it's Rolf.
So
So
good.
like, hey Earl, if you'd like my opinion, I wouldn't. I'd like to tell you what I think.
I love it.
Well, nobody wants to hear your opinion about anything. Okay, well then I'll tell you. So this is the vacuum form machine that I was talking
I love it.
It's like, that's honestly, like, I've always been so jealous of voice actors because that's just the best party trick ever,
So-
you know, and just the joy it makes
Yeah,
people
that's
just to hear that
actually
voice, you know,
very
like that's the most
And there's,
powerful thing you can do.
Looney Bird's hands.
You know.
When he comes up,
Holding a letter. The
looks like he's holding a letter. It's so funny that your mom was you were a little girl when all this was taking
Yes,
place. How old
Showbiz
were you at
Pizza.
Showbiz?
Well, what was it, 82?
Uh-huh.
I was 11.
We're getting
11.
into something that is going to be a through line throughout this, which is that Aaron misunderstands and believes that my mom went to Showbiz Pizza Place when my mom did not. And so throughout the entire video, he keeps trying to find like photos that he might have of my mom, only to learn at the very end, which unfortunately is the last frame of this video, that she did not go to Showbiz Pizza Place.
She was just saying that she like remembers it, like knew that it
No, I don't
existed,
even think she did. She
or-
just knows it from me. Like, and like, I think Aaron just assumed that
Oh.
like, because like she's so excited, she must have nostalgia for it. And she even
she's
tells him, I
excited
think
for you.
twice, that she had never been, but he just kind of glosses over it. So it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that last
I
frame.
never went to a Showbiz.
Well, did you ever wear your colander into Showbiz Pizza Place?
See, exactly.
You know what I'm talking
I never
about?
went to a Showbiz Pizza Place. Well, did you ever wear your colander? Is the response.
You can't use colanders for spaghetti because you need them to defend yourself, right? The
Well,
metal.
Also, it's
Spaghetti.
again, it's sacrilegious because colander is such an important part of American history, and it's such an integral part of the American fabric. And if it weren't for the colander, we wouldn't have democracy and all of that. So, so to use it to strain spaghetti is just downright pitiful. Just
But where
wrong.
did you come up with that idea? And what were the telethons for? Was it to raise money for something, or was it just
Well-
friends getting together?
Did you ever see the telethon?
Oh yeah.
Well, what happened was, it was March of '83, and we were still riding high with Showbiz Pizza Place. We had all our team together, our creative team, creating not only the shows, but the music and the songs and the stories and the skits and everything. And one day, while Sal, the guy who used to co-write everything with me, and he also did the voice of Fats back then. He doesn't anymore any longer, but back then he did the voice of Fats. We sat around a table and we were, just sort of brainstorming ideas. And apparently I had made some spaghetti, or maybe I'd strained some spinach the night before, and my colander was still sitting out. Well, so that surprised you. So my colander was sitting around, and we were talking, and Sal was just sort of mindlessly fumbling with the colander. And every once in a while he'd stick it on his head, and we'd be talking, and this went on for like an hour while we're talking, and he'd take the colander off and he'd put it down. Nobody missed anything, but all of a sudden I noticed how good he looked in the colander. And he had this big fluffy black hair, and he had the colander on top of his hair, and it was just very nicely appointed, if I might say. And so I said, you know what? You really look good in that colander. He goes, ooh, you say. So I said, yeah, I do say. And and then all of a sudden we just started thinking of what we could do.
This is cute.
Maybe we were kind of halfway thinking we could play. We were getting sillier and sillier, and we were wondering if everybody would get silly with us.
Yeah.
And we wondered if somehow or another we could get everybody in America to stick a colander on their head.
We've done it.
And how we could do that. And so we came up with the idea of the colander heads and the show tape that promoted the colander heads. And we got everybody to decorate their colanders. We decided you had to decorate them, customize them. That's what all those little holes are for, is for, attaching stuff to. That's why there are holes in colanders. If anybody ever asks you, so you can decorate it and stuff. And,
That's true.
It's not to strain spaghetti.
I know my history.
And that's how it all started. So then we thought, well, you know what? We want to come up with a way to promote this. We want to make sure that everybody catches on and feels the tongue-in-cheek humor that we felt. And that's why the colander head telethon came about. We wanted to make sure that we...
Can you pause? I have a
We were
question.
trying to communicate the idea first.
Does your sister care about this at all? Okay.
No.
She looks very bored.
Yeah. My sister was a saint. She came to a lot of things, and she was embarrassed by all of them, and she tells me now she's traumatized as she's older.
When is she gonna come on the pod?
But yeah, Vanessa did a lot of stuff that she, did not like. This was taking a day out of her Disney vacation, so I give, huge props to her for, doing it and everything. And I don't think Vanessa and I used to, like, when the Hips Don't Lie video came out when we were kids, we used to dance to it in the living room and stuff. Like, we had fun with it. There's some nostalgia, I'm sure, but, like,
it just wasn't her thing.
This is not her thing at all. No, Vanessa and I were completely different, She was very neurotypical, and she was very into, like, the normal things that kids were into, princesses and, cars and, interest that you could actually find things to do with shopping, all that stuff. She was a very...
You found things to do with your interests.
And this was, absolutely just some obscure... She, knew who the characters were and stuff from me and stuff, but, this wasn't her thing.
She's being very well-behaved and very, chill. That little
And
moment of her just
years.
looking at the camera was really cute. But
And that's honestly, and I say this with all the love I can, that's Vanessa. That's her. She's very, I don't want to say sassy, but she's very, opinionated, and she'll tell you. She's very honest, brutally honest stuff. And she, and that's, so she has not, I see that little clip and I'm like, that's Vanessa.
That's her.
That's her person. That's exactly what I always want. And I don't ever want her to change either.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Foremost were the managers and the employees of Shoga's Pizza Place, because they had to buy into it, or we weren't going anywhere with it. So, we put together basically a grassroots movement. We were community organizers. We were the original community organizers. So this is the vacuum form machine, and under this, now these cans are here because the roof used to leak. I believe it or not, I actually fixed the roof. It doesn't leak anymore, but it used to leak. This hole is where the vacuum can comes through. So you can see there's a pipe under there, and there's some valves.
Just somebody's wig.
And there's a pump around here somewhere. That's it over there. And when you fire it up, this creates a vacuum, just like a vacuum cleaner. It in 2 parts.
Oh, it's the next part. So this was all on a hi-fi tape,
Made that part.
or whatever, their hi-8 tape. Those old camcorders.
Yeah.
That's
So that was probably
covered,
switching of the
covers
tape.
the mechanics.
Okay.
So
and then you
the
put the fur
costume-
right on that.
But it's like hard plastic.
Yeah. and
Yeah,
you
it's
use
just
Velcro.
plastic.
That's what you could make
And it's
that.
called thermoplastic because it heats up and gets soft.
Nice.
It gets soft when it heats up. so you can create a new shape out of it. And it was just straight plastic. There probably never been sheets of it still around somewhere. So
He's very good at like breaking down these concepts to make them
Mhm.
easy to understand for kids.
you know, and these are all samples.
And it's
you know, I
cool
try
that he's
to
showing
keep
all this stuff too, and
you
not
know,
just
samples
like, you
of
know,
everything.
oh, this is that, and this is that. You know, it's like
There's
this is
the
what it
left
is, and this is
baton.
why. Like this is, you know,
Right.
you could have easily just went in and shown us,
the
you know, all right, there's all this stuff.
characters, they're
Here's
just
the
your
Rock-afire, you
characters
know.
with new coverings, right?
Depends on which ones.
Okay.
The ones that look like my show, except with different coverings, are
Yeah.
really my show.
Okay.
But the ones that they made themselves, they started, you know, having another manufacturer do it at a certain point,
Okay.
and those that don't look like our shows are really made by Holt.
Does somebody else, does a person own Chuck E. Cheese?
It's a public corporation.
It is. Okay.
It was a private corporation when I was part owner.
Okay.
And,
It's cool hearing him talk
in
about Chuck E.
public
Cheese.
somewhere around '85, and then I sold out my.
Very calmly.
I sold out
Mhm.
because I was no
And
longer to be involved with it.
Okay.
So I just decided just to force myself totally out of it.
Right. They don't keep up their characters at all.
No, it's hard to keep these things up. You really have to
Yeah.
be dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an interesting point he makes there too, which is like, I mean, that's a really nuanced thing of him to say, like, give him a little credit. Like, it's hard to keep up with them, you know, and it's right, you
Yeah.
know. I've made that argument many times. Like, I am not completely against the 2.0 because I understand how hard it is to upkeep it. I think a lot of people who are just fans don't realize until you have a character, and I own, you know, a Moon animatronic now, and just that 2 movements alone, just the Tolomatic cylinder, and just getting the, you know, it's I think it's almost $1,000 just for the repair kit for the cylinder, you know.
Yeah.
That you have to get on eBay, and now with everything driven up, it's so hard to maintain these. They're pieces of machinery. To find a technician who's able to do that, especially these days, is really hard. So I get where he's coming from. You know, you have to be dedicated to it, and most people are not getting paid enough to be dedicated for it.
Yeah,
Even
that was
showbiz
a
has
really
those issues.
good
you know?
response.
Yeah, it's hard to keep these up and running, and it's like it kind of, you know, that disrepair that they fall into is really what I think is like shaped the way for like Five Nights at Freddy's and all of these, you know, tropes and Willy's Wonderland and all these movies and things has been like they look great when they're fully working, and then as time goes on, it's inevitable that you can't get around to every little air leak and every little malfunctioning cylinder. The flow controls get unadjusted and they get jerky, and it becomes a whole thing.
It is a very like natural progression to like horror tropes, just the,
Yeah.
like natural kind of like degrading, decaying.
Even this frame, you know, like the new Rock-afire in the background is just skeletons basically, and they're hunched over like they're, you know.
I've said before, like in the warehouse, it's just like every corner is just like a dark corner with like a creepy ass like skeleton or like corpse sitting there lifelessly.
I always think of Chris Thrash in the Rock-afire documentary talking about like the time he like, you know, looked under the curtains and they were just staring at him. It's one of the most unsettling things is like they're so full of life and they're not.
And then they just like
Mm-hmm. Especially in like
limp.
the case of New Rock-afire where they had that body tilt lean, so they just kind of slump forward. You know, it's like
there's
something really kind of unsettling about that.
the more life that they get, the more dead they look when they're
Mm-hmm.
not alive.
And mechanics or mechanical, you know, repair.
Yeah.
Somebody who's a good technician, maybe somebody with
Like electronics.
electronics, with some knowledge in electronics might be able to do it.
A lot of hands-on though.
That's Billy Bob's guitar, and here's the stump that goes around the beach bear. But we have a lot more interesting stuff than that to see. So let's go on.
So many cool things that art.
Yeah.
Well,
I know. So it's kind of a crazy clock, and the hands go backwards.
Oh, that's so funny.
So it's a kind of a crazy clock.
Don't
okay,
touch.
so
Don't
it's
touch.
like
9/11 event, and everything was American this, American that. So we built the red, white, and blue model to,
How did we get to 9/11 again?
and
I
again,
think there's just a
it
lot
was too
of
expensive. Couldn't sell it, so we're
American
waiting until
flag
we get the
stuff
price
in
down. Technology. Who's
But,
this?
yeah.
Wow, that's a brand new one.
Well, it's not brand new. That's right. See, there's how those arms fit over there.
Yep, there's that. I think that sold recently. I think he sold that
It's
one.
not new. It kind of looks new
Is that
because it
one
looks so
over?
good.
Is that one?
No, that one is. Who is that? Let's see. I'm not sure. That could either be. Oh, that I know who that is. I think it's Fats because see, there's that.
That big jaw.
There's that jaw we were just looking at over there.
I thought it was Fats.
You did. You should have said so. We would have been
Vanessa.
impressed.
She
The nice
knows
thing
the
about these
characters.
characters that we really loved was they had so many more movements than the original characters. But the true fans, the big fans that are on Showbiz PizzaCom, they didn't like. They wanted to stick with the classic characters and never change.
This is Velcro down too.
Well, shade.
And there's
Well, shade.
Whoa.
there's some old beach bear
Can
fur.
I show this?
Sure.
Look at that, Anthony.
There's a fat's hand.
Wow.
Just
And I need to sort
spare
all this
parts.
stuff and figure out
Mhm.
what
Put
I've
it on
got.
eBay.
Anthony,
Go like that.
pretty cool, huh?
You could probably retire if you put all this stuff in.
It's like,
I wish
what?
I could,
I'm
but see
listening to
stuff
him.
like this, for example.
Why would you talk to me?
Just
This probably. Let's see, what is that? Oh, that's a walk-around costume.
Oh, that's
And people
No,
say to me all the time, they say, "Do you have any walk-around costumes?"
Pelts
Sam?"
of
I
the
say,
no.
comfort
I don't,
characters.
because I haven't sorted through my stuff.
yeah.
But once I've sorted through it, then that the reason I wouldn't want to sell this by itself is because I might have the feet somewhere,
Right.
and then I could sell it all as one costume. So there's a lot of stuff around here. I mean, here's some more, and I might just have this. You don't know until we
Right.
get to the bottom
What's
of it all. Well, now
That's
this is actually a.
what?
It's like a leg that goes
He doesn't even know.
walk around
It's
the actual
walk away.
character, so.
Jeez. I don't know why I said that.
There's the photo being taken. I have that.
The way.
Here,
That's
wanna
that
do it
red
again?
eye, yeah. All right, ready? Don't move until I say.
It's going on your website.
No, hold it.
There you go.
I got it now.
Okay.
Makes up for lots of mistakes. But this is a. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. It's a
It's a doohickey.
it's a doohickey.
It's got a swivel in
bushing.
it, so if
Those
something
heads in the
falls on-
background.
Yeah, it's got a swivel in it. So
Just
basically you use it to push,
disembodied
Like
heads in the
rod.
background.
Mhm.
and this part here would screw into an air cylinder, and then when the air cylinder is moving, you have a screw that goes through this, and it pushes something, and that's basically how things move around. And I've got a lot of these, so you can have that too.
Thank you.
Whenever you
Look at
start
the
building,
symbols. Oh, I just noticed.
oh yeah, whenever you start building robots, you'll need a handful of
Are
those.
those from Fats or Roll?
Ninja assault.
Those are probably from Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
Duke Roll. No.
Fats? You said fats.
I'm sorry. Duke or Roll.
How dare you?
How dare you? How fucking
Now,
dare
these
you?
we were experimenting with talking walk-around characters, and what they are is these are heads
Almost look like Luke Skywalker.
that have servos in them, like little radio control servos, and they would actually run off of show tapes, so that somebody could wear the costume, but the head actually works. So the
I love Five Nights at Freddy's.
mouth actually works by radio control. So the costume character itself would actually perform.
Noise.
That is cool
And
though.
his eyes would move.
It is cool, especially if they're making
So
a
that was
fast
a-
one. Like I've
a
seen
cool
the Billy Bob one before, but there was a
concept as
fast
well. I
one.
thought it
Really
was
cool to me.
Great because
I don't
Disney
know
they
who the
have
character was.
costume
It was in the
characters
Billy Bob maybe.
that do work like that, but they don't actually have radio control. There's characters, the people inside of the Disney costumes are controlling those costumes themselves.
Wow,
And they have
that's a
to
lot of
learn the
work.
script, and they have to just push buttons or pull strings to operate their own character
We were
movements.
just
What's so
wondering
bold
if
moving
that
to,
was
to explain that after we just got back from
Can I
Disney and
stand
probably
in it
thought
and
they
you
were
can
real
take my
characters.
picture?
Like, cool.
Here. Tim, take my picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you come up there to this. I mean, if you were ever going to come up there and could step into Chuck E. Cheese, I bet you could get a crowd to come meet you there.
Oh, I don't know, but we did just come back from there. We drove to, we were on that trip when you called
when
me.
I called,
We
yeah.
drove to Danvers in an RV. Boy, that was a challenge.
Oh, I bet.
Ooh.
Yeah, did you like the weather up there?
Oh, it was bitter, and we had some major breakdowns on the RV.
Okay.
Yeah, and we talked a
But,
couple of times about him coming to visit
anyway,
at
we-
our house.
93 or 92. You were so.
That would've been
He would stop
crazy.
by when he was up
Well,
there
thank
next.
you,
but
but
he never-
it doesn't
he
seem
did.
like I
He
was
never
because-
came back.
I mean, everybody knew that we had problems with energy. That was no secret.
Now they're all
I'm
making.
talking about his
now
car.
Go for it.
By the way, if you would, pardon the mess. I streamed, but
Oh.
but what happened was in 19.
Me when I have people over.
When we started
Full
Showbiz Pizza
disclaimer.
Place, we were trying to tell everybody what to do. For example,
The
take Beach Bear's
anti-gravity
wig
freedom
off.
machine.
you know what it was like to tell 200 stores to take Beach Bear's wig off? You had to call them all. You know,
Right, you couldn't send an email.
You couldn't send an email. There was no such thing as fax. Fax came along in 1987, just to
Right.
remind you. And so it was a telephone committee that made calls to all 200
Unbelievable.
restaurants. You could send them a
Can you imagine
letter,
that? Like,
but basically, if you wanted quick communication, you had to make phone calls. So I started developing a system that I called the anti-gravity freedom machine that would allow us to connect with each other through a keyboard so that you could actually press a button to write a letter, and you just press it. And see, here you go, write a letter. It was the first button there. And a clean sheet of paper would come on the screen. You type your message, and then you press send letter. Okay. Now, a group of names would come up on the screen. That was everybody that was in your network. And you could pick the name off the screen with this light pin right here. And bang, it would send out the letter over the phone line and get to their machine in seconds later. And I could send out the same letter to all 200 restaurants in a matter of seconds.
I think one thing that we sometimes forget, and there's some things, we've criticized Aaron and a lot of people do, is that he is a genius. That is insane to come up. He created email. He created whack-a-mole. Yeah. He created an electric car before, that was a thing, or low gas mileage car. He's created so many things that could have been world for advancements. It just wasn't the time. He was a little too late, or a little too, didn't have the money or the necessary
wrong place,
means
wrong
for it.
time.
Exactly. And that's something that I think really can, one, take a toll on someone, but it's also something that can be, it doesn't take away from the inventiveness of that. He is truly an inventor in every sense of the word, of trying to come up with solutions to these practical problems that happen, like trying to reach every showbiz location. Okay, I invented email. That's just crazy. I know there's stories when he was a kid taking apart, a radio and putting it back together and it still worked and everything. It's just, even when he talks about having a calculator that he, used to be able to go to school. He liked going to school and having a calculator and taking his briefcase to school every day and everything. And it's he was so destined to do this. Yeah.
And that's good. The world needs creative, weird people. And I aspire to be as creative and weird as possible in life. I think in that that does contribute to the ego, I guess, to a degree. Is he's earned it. He has a fantastic mind, thinks more analytically and just in a different way than a lot of people. I just think it's harder for him to connect with people because he is very smart and very just thinks differently than a lot of people. He never got the opportunity to be recognized in the way that he could have been.
Deserves to be.
Yeah, it deserves to be.
I really feel
and
a lot of these things are groovy
bitterness.
Inventions. Yeah.
Did you say groovy inventions?
I didn't, but I should have. I said great, but it sounded like groovy, and I think groovy sounds better. So I'm gonna pretend that I did say that. So I'm retconning my own statement into groovy inventions.
Advancement for me, and for what I was trying to do, I figured, I can't be the only person in the world that needs this. So I thought, what I'd like to do? I'd like to try and invent this for the whole rest of the world. And this is really what I want to dedicate my life to. So around 1984, I was into this full time, and I was researching and developing and producing and writing code and creating microchips and everything that was necessary to do to create this. But it took a long time. So by the time I had this machine finished and ready to go, I had prototypes out. For example, this is one of the prototypes, and I had little experimental networks and people who were trying this out and saying, "Oh yeah, this is really great, Aaron. You're going to do it. You're going to tie the whole world together with email. You'll be the father of modern email." Well, 1996, I introduced this at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and that was exactly at the same time that the internet popped. The internet had been in development too. It had been incubating for quite a while, but I didn't really know anything about the internet, and this didn't work on the internet. This worked on phone lines. Right. And it was absolutely reliable and extremely simple. Even my 89-year-old grandmother was able to use this just like that. You just take it home, plug it in. It came on instantly. None of this booting up stuff, none of this launching application stuff. It was all instant. And it had a lot of features in it that you're familiar with now on computers. Like, for example, when I came out with upgrades to the software, I could send out the upgrades from my computer, my anti-gravity freedom machine, to yours, and it was installed while you were sleeping. You never even knew it. And it was all sent over the phone line.
So you basically invented electronic cars and email.
Email. I did.
It's unbelievable.
And but I'm afraid that my email
Can you pause it for a second?
Because of the fact that I was trumped by the internet and, of course, the PC.
What is the full title of the American
Anti-gravity freedom machine?
I think that hot take might be part of the problem, the branding.
Yeah.
You just said it, anti-gravity freedom machine.
Yep, anti-gravity freedom machine. Yep, it doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't explain what it does. It doesn't do.
It's just like some buzzwords. He really leaned into like the patriotism of the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s, and tried to capitalize on it in a way that doesn't feel like ever worked.
No. It's for a certain type of person, and that type of person I'm not.
Anti-gravity freedom machine. Like, I don't know what that has to do with sending things over the mail, over the computer phone.
No, I don't know either. I mean, I guess like I could stretch it in my mind that like anti-gravity, it's like traveling through phone lines above, and freedom, it allows you to be freely texting people, but that's such a, just call it phone mail,
Freedom
phone
machine.
letters, anything, phone letters, virtual letter, I don't know, something.
Anything. We're not killing it with the brainstorming of other names, but like
no, we're not. You know what? That's why we're not. That's why we're not him. We're not Aaron.
We're not inventors. Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong. You know what? Maybe the anti-gravity freedom machine was the name. Maybe that was the hot token.
AGFM.
Hey, that's kind of cool. It's kind of futuristic. Kinda. I don't think I like it.
Anyway, I am very impressed by this story, and this is something that I already knew, but it's cool again to hear it and hear him directly telling you guys this story. And shout out to your mom. She's very good at like affirming and being like, "Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome." Like she's a very active listener. So shout out.
Absolutely. I mean, my mom is the whole reason we were even there. You know, she called and she, reached out, and I think that's, she was just excited because, this is something that at this time, like I mentioned, you don't really get to do it often. A couple people had toured, collectors, people who are buying things, I'm sure, the older fandom members. MGMT, I think, had toured by this time for the Electric Feel video. I'm sure there's been plenty of tours, but it wasn't a business yet. It later became you could book a tour right through his website. You couldn't do that at this point. And so he hadn't really fallen into the rhythm of what his future tours would be. Yeah.
This feels a lot more personal and a lot more like spontaneous.
You'll even see as we get to the kind of the last section of this, the Rock-afire was not fully working, so he let me just program them because they were like, he was in the middle of a programming tape. And I think that's something that's like nowadays, the other tours, he would just play a bunch of shows, and there's something maybe a little more cool about.
And I never even used a PC myself until about 1998. Wow. And the thing that got me into a PC, the first application that came along that made me decide that I needed to get a PC was Publisher, Microsoft Publisher. Yeah. And I said, well, there you go. I need that. And what did I do with it? I used it to make my menu for Looney Birds. I thought that was great. I can finally create my own menus. And then after that, the internet. But I didn't turn away.
Looney Birds?
Uh-huh.
I didn't.
And in my office, which is
Mom, who else with?
Pay bills and stuff like that.
How are you doing this with a degree in finance?
How am I doing what?
All this technical stuff.
Well, I've been experimenting since I was a little boy.
How come you didn't go to school for something different? I was shocked when I saw that.
Well, in 1970, I started in the School of Engineering at the University of South Florida.
You're just standing there.
Quarter of engineering. Yep. And in that
I want to explore this, but I don't want to be like
very limited, very.
I don't want to like walk away because I'm not interested in his degree. I'm interested in the Looney Bird animatronic over there, and the fact that I recognize that backdrop as his old. That's his old YouTube backdrop that he used to do all of his YouTube videos in front of, and so I was like, oh my gosh, this is it.
If it doesn't seem strong enough, we'll start again. Or if it breaks, we'll fix it.
I still do this thing with my hands in my pocket, and I just kind of like.
Well, the straw that broke the camel's back was when they were teaching us to use the slide rule. Now, do you even know what a slide rule is?
I know what it is. I've never used one.
That's aging yourself.
Well, it was the last year that they taught people
that tickled your dad
to do calculations and logarithms and so forth. And there, if you went down to the college bookstore, there was a brand new Hewlett Packard.
She's so bored.
There for $750.
He's talking about his calculator. We're both like
down to like 10
robots.
decimal points of accuracy. And I wanted one of those.
Wow.
And I really wanted to play the slide rule.
This is cool to me now, but I was just like,
and I was doing calculations of slide rule. But when we got into college, and they were still telling us to use the slide rule,
like, where's Billy Bob?
I decided that I needed I needed just.
It's also like
do this
knowing
whole
the building at
inventing
this point and
thing
knowing
by
the layout. Like
myself.
I knew that Billy
And I
Bob was
never
right on
did
the
get an
corner. It was the full
engineering
Rock-afire.
degree. I went
Right?
straight into
Here I am
finance.
bringing my
Decided
slide
I'd go straight into
calculator,
finance.
slide ruler.
Got out of like, so good.
You're just looking
Covered up on
around.
courses and everything. And I got out of college when I was 19 with a finance degree. Now that doesn't mean I'm a financial wizard by any means, because I just went through as fast as I could to get out with a degree.
That's pretty good.
And I learned a little bit
So
about
real.
finance, but whatever they teach you to get out with a degree. But basically you learn really what you need to learn out in the world.
Right.
And I don't really. I think college is good for social reasons.
Yeah.
And and for helping you figure out a few things. But basically, you got to figure everything out yourself when you get out. So
I agree. Nothing that I use.
because now you have the internet for
Why
research.
Billy Bob
Yeah.
Pinata.
And in school, I'm not even sure what they do with internet in school,
Yeah,
but
a lot.
it has to be. But it's there's the door robots. Yeah, this is. We even have them. Even the way they're laid out here, fit the way we program.
Oh,
You'll notice it has an
old
Apple
computers
IIe.
and-
Actually, two of them connected together.
Would this go with the show?
No, This-
Okay.
this would
You
go in the
just use it
programming room.
here and then ship the show
to
program?
create the show tapes.
Okay.
To create the show tapes. That's right.
Isn't that crazy? All that old tech.
And this with these knobs.
Like other tech alone
and
is
then the
probably worth
data
a lot.
would be
You know.
captured
Yeah.
of the people who joined us in our colander head movement.
Who worked that?
And I have about 40 of these albums, 40 picture albums like this, because as people were,
Oh, here's the model.
we were taking pictures of them. In fact, if you did it, I might even have your picture in here somewhere.
Oh, no, not that bad.
Let me see if I-
Recently in my kitchen.
There you go.
Did you say
Huh?
what?
So it
If anyone out
became
there is
my
watching,
job
you're in these photos. Let us
It's
to
know.
a-
go
Fine.
through these thousands of pictures and pick the winner.
Look, an Easter. They're all
Oh,
Easter.
Polaroids.
Polaroids. It's historical.
Back
It's
in
like,
the 70s and
girl.
80s.
Isn't it a little bit? Kind of pretty.
Granddad
Grandpa, it looks like, yeah.
coming in and
So when did you open Looney Birds?
97 maybe.
Okay, so yep. And is there still a Looney Bird?
No, I
Okay.
opened one. I had to close it down in a
Sunset.
couple of years,
Okay.
and because it wasn't making enough money to
And
stay
it was in
open.
Orlando?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest things I think that we ever did. Was the whole colander head.
Aaron actually really
movement.
makes these pictures
It's
like
fun to
virtually
watch the
available
telethon.
online for anyone who might be in them.
And everybody got it.
You said he should?
You know what was funny is we
Yeah.
only ran it for 1 month.
You're kidding.
No, we only ran it through March of '83,
Isn't that funny?
and I was going to run it longer, but I abandoned this office in 1984 or '85,
It would be really nice to digitize
and I worked out
all of those pictures.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
The
some
curtains,
still
remember
there.
the curtains?
Now those curtains there, I actually I took them down. Well, they either fell down or I took them down, and I used them to make that box there. That's a turntable box.
That's funny.
And and of course things are falling apart a little bit, so I don't want to put anything back up until I fix that window. So it's kind of a mess. And then at some point I got a weight machine in here so that I could actually work out while I'm here working. These are plugs from the characters.
the
Who can tell me
Kill
who this is?
Bro.
Right. Now what these are,
So collectible.
these are like real heavy masks that I made just to protect the molds. So that someday, for example, if the molds ever fall apart on me, and they will, I can make new molds from these. And really they're not really protected in here. So I should probably take the ones that are underneath. Put them out. Talking about?
Yeah.
Give Dolly dimples.
That was
Oh, is it your bed?
It's thin enough. It'll go bad. No, I wasn't a Dolly Dimples creator. So,
No.
that was Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, is it?
Uh-huh.
Did you
what
know
was
that?
that means you got to
Oh.
Bought that
Did you
album.
work on that?
No, I didn't.
I knew that.
But I bought this album probably in
Gosh, Mom.
because we built a bear
How
show
dare you not know
that
that?
was sort of a
You think he
knockoff
created-
of the Country Bear Jamboree, and ours was called
Dolly
Jubilee,
Dimples.
Okay.
not to be confused with the Bear Country Jamboree. You've probably seen that on the internet too. And
I have that record too.
anyway, so I bought this album just to sort of familiarize
I
myself.
just saw that show yesterday.
Oh,
I love that he
Really?
admitted basically that they just ripped off Disney.
And,
He was like, yeah, I got this to,
there's
to
my
see the
heroes.
competition so I could build it.
The Beatles.
We did a lot of Beatle music in our time too. And he was a really good artist. And Dave Thomas did the sculptures
Speaking of Dave
the
Thomas, we
characters
just,
and did a lot of my
talked
artwork
about
back in
his
the
art,
original days.
and well, you can see a lot of those designs in the way the new below cover looks.
Who does?
Yep.
Duke and Raw.
Which we talked about in our last
Back then,
episode.
it was Dingo.
Shameless
We actually, he
self-promotion.
started life as Dingo. We changed him into Duke later on. We kind of messed with his name. In fact, we decided to name him Duke after we found Duke. The guy's real name was Duke, who was going to do his voice.
Okay.
And we just decided to change his name to Duke before the Rock-afire explosion came out. But originally, it started off as Dingo. This might have been my first brochure. In fact, back then we were located at
I do
Silver
have
Star Road.
this still.
You know what I
He
never
signed it
noticed?
for
That
me.
it's 3626 Silver Star Road, and the address I live at
Dated
now is
it, and I still have
3623.
this. I'll insert a
South
photo of
Roslyn.
it.
Wait a minute. Here comes my spooky sound effect. I learned that from Dave Thomas. And so this is Friendly Freddy. That was our very first full-size character. And that's what we look like inside. And that's me. Such a funny picture as I'm examining the elf.
Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like you.
I gotta break this photo down, actually.
Yeah.
It's a photo of Aaron with his arm inside of an elf's ass. For
Yeah.
the Santa Claus review, I assume.
That's you said you have a picture of this, and we can insert that. A picture of the
Yeah,
whole
I have this
page.
actual page, and I have this whole brochure, and it's signed. That's one of the things I did keep. The Santa Claus review is interesting because I'm from New England, and that show was here. It was in New Hampshire at Santa's Village, and it got replaced later on with the same show, but the animatronics were remade by Advanced Animations. But they kept the audio for a while, and now it's just, I think, a theater there. But it is interesting that this was like one of the first creative engineering shows was created locally to me, you know?
Yeah, you were in a good location to be
I
obsessed
really
with
was. I
animatronics.
got so lucky, you know, and it's just
Right place, right time.
exactly that's the expression.
We're just I'm giving him a once over.
That's so
And this is little things like that in all of our stuff, you know. We're wild and crazy kids, you know, living in an early Saturday Night Live generation. And there was our bear show, and that's our original artwork, the bear show. And there's the first full size show we did. That was a Christmas show.
Wow, is that a reindeer?
That's
so cute.
we call him Rudolph, and he sung like Rudy Valentino. Built these talking heads. Is that I've gone back to that now with my animatronics experimenters kit, but instead of selling them to amusement parks, of course I sell them to families to build them with their kids. And I believe I have a lot of these, so you can have this up here, and you can see, look at the dust on this desk. You can tell how long it's been since anybody's been here. And he had his so when Dad and I wanted to, it was done through thousands of emails. It took us a long time to get these up.
It's crazy that
get
you
these
just
up. And we were
everything's left like that, you know.
Yeah.
turn this
This
off.
is the
But
glitch of the
around
tape.
the walls,
It's inevitable. These are,
plaster molds here are all.
Yeah.
That's how we made these rubber masks. You can
Haunting.
see there's a
yeah,
mold
it's,
right
look
there.
at Mitzi, and the
that,
second generation Mitzi's in the corner.
Fill it
there.
up with latex, and pour the latex
Ooh,
out.
looks like a
And then what's
spider.
left is a skin, and it dries. You pull it out, and that's how you get your masks.
So, yeah.
Stuff starts sticking together after a while.
Ah.
Mitzi shoe plug, second generation.
Wow.
So this is actually
Not close,
Mitzi's
not
second generation shoe.
This
Plug.
Look at the sun.
I'm guessing
Careful.
this is fast.
Yeah.
That's right. There's a sun plug. These are plugs. A plug is something you can make another mold off
What's
of,
that?
theoretically.
Is that real?
No, that's a new character that we were actually sculpting and never finished. And this is the way you start a sculpture. You put the mechanism down, you start packing clay on it, and you make sure that it clears and get the clearances that you need.
What character is he?
I don't remember. Tell you the truth. Might have been a rabbit or something. I don't know. What is that thing?
Whatever happened to that rabbit that was just
It's just that they have their regulations and they kick things out and they find excuses to charge
Mitzi.
more.
So spooky.
like a spider. Like,
It's a tough world. just making it through from one end to the other. And then, of course, everybody breaks even at the end anyway.
Yep.
So this is the scab. We call them the scab. And when we produced this talking head, it looked really cool because these lips could be animated to look real.
Oh yeah, really do.
Yeah, to it. You hold this for me, Anthony, and I'll show you. Here's exactly what he said. Let's see, where's your flashlight? Okay, hold your flashlight up here on the scab.
What's Scab? That's his name.
I mean, this guy, yeah.
What scab?
I am the scab. What did you say? What did you say? I will not be intimidated.
I didn't say anything.
You. And people, when he came to life and he started doing that, I mean, we're talking 1976. And when probably, a Looney Bird filler, stick that in a mask and hold it in shape. And there's a Looney Bird foot. Cool. These were, see, it says standard 93. So
So at the time, Aaron had only programmed. He was working on the Nine Inch Nails show, which we'll link in the description. But at that time, he only had 2 characters working, which were Duke and Fats were programmed. So he played us that show, but only those 2 characters. But because he was in the middle of programming, he couldn't, for whatever reason, leave and play a full Rock-afire show. So what he did for us was he played us just the 2 characters that were working, and then let me program Billy Bob. So what you're seeing right now is my sister and I kind of tag teaming the button to program Billy Bob's hand. We also, it's not in this video, but we also like got to record some like just nursery rhymes and stuff with Billy Bob and like work on the mouth and stuff and just kind of program it. So that's what you're seeing now.
Good job, Nessie.
good job, guys. Want to see it played back?
I don't
Just
know
in-
how you like the home. Like this, it's like toys. It's like,
It was harder than I thought.
It's
it was
really
gonna be.
fun.
Yeah. See, we got it there. Sort of, for a second.
So there's your very first programming lesson
Wow.
and programming experience.
I've never seen the Rock-afire before in person.
Is that right?
Yeah, they have. These guys did.
Only
Um,
just me.
No,
But
you saw it when you were a little girl.
um,
Yeah.
no, I never did.
did?
I never saw it. I never went to show this before.
Oh,
Did?
No.
Oh. Hi, this is Eevee, and it is my honor to say you have officially reached the end of this episode of Retrofitted Reality. Shout out to my co-host Anthony for sharing this absolute gem of a creative engineering tour with us, and for creating the amazing theme song that you're hearing right now. If you consider yourself an animatronic nerd, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss our future episodes. Check out the description for more information and more places to find us, and to let us know in the comments what your favorite part of this video was, what you'd like to see next, and why not, who your favorite Rock-afire member is. Mine changes by the day, but today it's Rolf. See you next episode, animatronic nerds.